Dr. Doom's origin explained, the tragic story of Victor Von Doom. Warning: this video contains spoilers for Marvel Comics, Fantastic Four, Avengers, and Dr. Doom storylines. While different comic universes and adaptations vary in some details, this video focuses on Dr. Doom's primary Marvel Comics origin. Now, let's begin. Imagine being born into poverty, watching your mother lose her soul to a demon, seeing your father hunted by a king, growing up alone, and believing that the only way to save the people you love is to become more powerful than anyone else on Earth. That is the story of Victor Von Doom. To the world, he is one of Marvel's greatest villains, the ruler of Latveria, the sworn enemy of the Fantastic Four, a genius whose intellect rivals Reed Richards, a sorcerer capable of challenging Doctor Strange, and a conqueror who has repeatedly defeated the Avengers, stolen the power of gods, and even ruled the entire Marvel universe. But Victor Von Doom didn't begin as a monster. He began as a son, a grieving child, a brilliant young man who believed he could overcome fate itself. Every terrible decision he made came from one obsession: saving his mother. That obsession would eventually transform Victor Von Doom into Dr. Doom. So, who is Victor Von Doom? How did one of the smartest men in Marvel become its most feared ruler? And why do so many fans believe he's not truly evil but tragically broken? Let's explain. A childhood filled with tragedy. Victor Von Doom was born in the small European nation of Latveria. His family belonged to the Romani people, who lived under the harsh rule of a cruel baron. Life was difficult from the beginning. Victor's father, Werner Von Doom, was a gifted healer who used his medical knowledge to help anyone in need. His mother, Cynthia Von Doom, practiced powerful magic. She secretly studied dark mystical arts, in the hope of protecting her people from oppression. But Cynthia made one terrible mistake. Desperate for greater power, she made a bargain with the demon Mephisto. The deal ended in disaster. Cynthia was killed, and her soul became trapped in Mephisto's realm. Victor was still a young boy. He never forgot what happened. From that moment on, freeing his mother's soul became the purpose of his life. The death of his father. Soon after Cynthia's death, another tragedy struck. The Baron of Latveria summoned Werner to save his dying wife. Werner did everything he could, but the Baroness could not be saved. Fearing the Baron's wrath, Werner fled into the mountains with young Victor. Winter was brutal. Exhausted and freezing, Werner sacrificed everything to protect his son. Victor survived. His father did not. The young boy was now completely alone. He inherited two things from his parents: his father's scientific brilliance and his mother's knowledge of magic. Victor would spend the rest of his life mastering both. A genius unlike any other. Even as a teenager, Victor displayed extraordinary intelligence. He built complex machines from scraps. He studied engineering, physics, robotics, and advanced technology far beyond his years. News of his genius eventually reached the United States. Victor received a scholarship to one of the world's greatest universities. It was there that he met another brilliant student, Reed Richards. The future, Mr. Fantastic. From the very beginning, the two geniuses respected each other's intelligence, but they also became fierce rivals. Victor believed no one could equal his intellect. Reed believed science required humility and careful testing. Those opposing philosophies would shape Marvel history forever. The experiment that changed everything. While studying at university, Victor secretly worked on a revolutionary machine. He believed it could open a gateway into another dimension. His true goal wasn't fame. It wasn't wealth. It wasn't power. He wanted to rescue his mother's soul from Mephisto. Reed Richards reviewed Victor's calculations. He noticed a critical flaw. He warned Victor the machine would fail. Victor refused to listen. His pride would not allow him to accept that someone else might be correct. Ignoring Reed's warning, Victor activated the machine. Seconds later, it exploded. The laboratory was destroyed. Victor's face was horribly scarred. Although the injuries were relatively minor in some comic versions, Victor believed his appearance had been ruined forever. His pride suffered an even greater wound than his body. Blaming Reed for the accident instead of his own mistake, Victor left the university consumed by anger. That single moment created one of Marvel's greatest rivalries, becoming Doctor Doom. After leaving America, Victor wandered the world, searching for knowledge. Eventually, he found a hidden monastery deep in the Himalayas. There, monks helped him recover and refine both his scientific and mystical abilities. They forged an incredible suit of armor unlike anything the world had ever seen. Powered by advanced technology, the armor dramatically increased Victor's strength, intelligence, and durability. Then came the moment that defined his identity forever. Before the metal mask had fully cooled from the forge, Victor placed it onto his scarred face. The burning steel permanently fused to his skin. The pain was unbearable, but Victor believed physical suffering was insignificant compared to weakness. From that day forward, Victor Von Doom ceased to exist. Dr. Doom had been born, the king of Latveria. Dr. Doom eventually returned to his homeland. Latveria was still ruled by corruption and fear. Using his unmatched intelligence and advanced technology, Doom overthrew the ruling government. He crowned himself monarch. Unlike many comic book dictators, Doom genuinely transformed his country. Crime almost disappeared. Technology advanced rapidly. Healthcare improved. Education flourished. Many citizens viewed Doom not as a tyrant, but as a protector. His methods were ruthless. But under his rule, Latveria became one of the safest and most technologically advanced nations on Earth. This moral complexity is one reason Dr. Doom remains one of Marvel's most fascinating characters. Doom's greatest enemy. Although Dr. Doom has battled nearly every Marvel hero, one rivalry stands above all others: Reed Richards. The conflict isn't simply about good versus evil, it's about pride. Victor cannot accept that Reed may be smarter than he is. Time and again, Doom tries to prove his superiority. He invents impossible machines, masters forbidden magic, conquer nations, even steals cosmic powers. Yet, no matter how powerful he becomes, Reed Richards continues to challenge him. Their rivalry is as much psychological as it is physical. Each believes the other represents everything that's wrong with their worldview. Master of science and magic. Most Marvel villains rely on one source of power. Dr. Doom is different. He is both one of Earth's greatest scientists and one of its most accomplished sorcerers. He has studied under mystical masters, battled Doctor Strange, used ancient spells capable of reshaping reality. At the same time, he creates armor, robots, artificial intelligence, and weapons centuries ahead of modern technology. Very few characters can match him in either field. Almost none can rival him in both. That combination makes Doom uniquely dangerous. Was Dr. Doom ever right? One reason fans love Dr. Doom is because he isn't evil for the sake of being evil. Victor truly believes he knows what's best for humanity. He sees democracy as weak. He believes only absolute control can create lasting peace. In several comic storylines, his rule actually reduces war, poverty, and crime. The problem is his methods. Freedom means very little to Doom if it stands in the way of order. That raises a fascinating question. If a dictator could create a perfect world, would the cost be worth it? Marvel has explored that moral dilemma for decades. Secret Wars and God Emperor Doom. Dr. Doom reached the height of his power during Marvel's Secret Wars storyline. After the multiverse collapsed, Doom stole the nearly limitless power of the Beyonders. Using that power, he created Battleworld, a patchwork planet built from fragments of destroyed universes. For a time, Victor became known as God Emperor Doom. He reshaped reality itself. Even heroes who hated him admitted he had accomplished the impossible. But absolute power could not erase his greatest flaw: his pride. Eventually, Reed Richards defeated him not because Doom lacked intelligence, but because he could never admit someone else might be better. It was the same flaw that had defined Victor since his university days. Why Dr. Doom is more than a villain. Unlike many comic book villains, Dr. Doom isn't driven by chaos or destruction. He doesn't seek power simply to rule. He believes the world needs him. Everything he does stems from one belief: that only Victor Von Doom is capable of saving humanity. Ironically, there are moments in Marvel Comics where he almost proves himself right. That moral ambiguity is what separates Doom from most villains. He's terrifying because his logic often makes sense. It's his arrogance that turns noble intentions into catastrophic actions. Final thoughts. So, who is Dr. Doom? He is Victor Von Doom, a brilliant scientist, a powerful sorcerer, the ruler of Latveria, the lifelong rival of Reed Richards, a man whose childhood was shaped by loss, grief, and an obsession with saving his mother's soul. His greatest strength has always been his unmatched intellect. His greatest weakness has always been his overwhelming pride. Dr. Doom didn't become one of Marvel's greatest villains because he lacked compassion. He became one because he believed only he could decide humanity's future. That tragic belief transformed a gifted young genius into one of the most powerful and complex characters ever created in comic book history. What do you think? Is Dr. Doom truly a villain? Or is he a tragic anti-hero whose greatest enemy has always been his own pride? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more Marvel explainers, Fantastic Four lore, movie breakdowns, hidden details, and entertainment news. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.